Okay, so for this one, you have to see that those two angles are both called E, meaning that they will be equal to one another. Okay, so if we take this tangent and this chord, well, let's rather start with the angle A. Let's try and do them alphabetically. Okay, so as ons gaan kyk na hierdie chord, do you see it subtends this angle at the circle circumference? Okay, if you go like this. But it also subtends this angle at the midpoint of the circle. So what would the size of A be? It's 104 degrees, right? Because you have that theorem that says midpoint is twice the angle on the circle circumference. Okay, so you have to remember that as well. Oopsie. Now I'm going to go looking at this chord. Okay, goed, so daar's twee goeters wat ons hier moet onthou. Omdat hy van die middelpunt van die sirkel afkom, what would this be? The angle of this be? 90. Nee? Hierdie gaan mos loodreg wees op mekaar. So what will the size of angle C be? 90. Okay. Maar kom, ek gaan nou eers B doen en dan gaan ons na C toe gaan. So if you take this chord and you take this chord as the basis of a triangle, then it subtends this on the circle circumference. Do you see? So the angle between the tangent and the chord, angle B, will be equal to the angle in the opposite circle segment. You have to look on the circle circumference, not in the middle of the circle. Maar sien julle dat hierdie ene op die sirkelrand lê, so we can say that the angle B will be equal to 52 degrees. En nou rede is hoek tussen raaklyn en chord. Because the angle between the tangent and the chord is equal to the angle in the opposite circle segment. Okay, dan het ons klaar gesê wat ons weet C is. So we know C to be 90 degrees. Want die raaklyn is loodreg op die radius. Okay. Now we can go looking at these two at E, because we know that this forms a 180 degree. Okay, so you can say that C plus E plus E plus B must be equal to 180 degrees, and your reason is straight line, kopperige line. Okay, we already have C. We can add those two to E, and we already have B as 52 degrees. And then you simply need to solve. So E is equal to 19 degrees. Okay. Now if we look at this triangle, what type of a triangle will that be? Why? You're right. What do we call OQ and OR? What are they called? Alice? Radius. Do you guys see? So omdat hierdie radius is en hierdie radius is, beteken dit gaan altyd 'n gelykbenige driehoek vorm. Always an isosceles triangle. So in other words, the angle D will be equal to 19 times 2, right? Because there's two of them in there. So it's equal to 38 degrees, and your reason will be angles opposite equal, and somewhere write radius here. The plural of radius is radii. So angles opposite equal radii. Okay. So what else do we need? We've got that and that and that and that. Okay, let's do the angle F. We can do G first, but let's do the angle F. I think it's easier to do G first. Okay, if you look at this triangle, no, actually not that triangle. Kom ek maak hom net 'n bietjie skoon dat julle mooi kan sien. As ons gaan kyk na daai driehoek. This A is a bit close to that, but A is this angle. And E is that angle. Then you can use your exterior angles of a triangle to figure out G. So jy kan sê G sal gelyk wees aan hoek A wat 104 is, plus hoek E wat 19 is. En jou rede is buitehoeke van 'n driehoek. So. Okay, and then we can use that same one to calculate F in that triangle. Because you see this angle G is the exterior angle of that triangle. So in other words, ek gaan nou net hierbo skryf. F plus 52 must be equal to G, which is 1, 2, 3 degrees. Exterior angle of triangle. So in other words, F will be equal to 71 degrees. Oopsie. Okay, another way to have done F, but that's a bit more complicated, is to use your tangent chord theorem. So there's your tangent, and that's a chord. It is still a chord. So then, in other words, this angle, C plus E, so die hoek C plus die hoek E moet gelyk wees aan die hoek D plus die hoek F. And because you already had C and E and D, you can use that to calculate F as well. Okay, so any of those methods are fine.